want me to speak now? Okay, cool. So the second miracle just came in the shower. I've done direct channeling before on my page, but it might just not look like that. And this message is coming through telling me it needs to be a full direct channel. And so it wants to be part 1 and part 2. So part 1 is like explaining it, and part 2 is just like letting me sink into it. And the reference that they're giving is the word ghost. Now, the word ghost could mean 3 things that's coming up. One is maybe it's someone passed. The first reference that came to mind was the movie Ghost for me. So well, that's a reference because that was the explanation of how the second video is going to look. So it's going to look like if you know Dolores and she lets someone take over her body and then she's speaking as if it's that person, that's what it's going to look like. So I'll just be talking straight as if it's that person versus saying that person likes you like this. It'll just be like, I like you like this. They wanted me to explain that for you, and the ghost reference came up around that image. Now, ghosting could be like a thing too. Maybe you're not in contact, and maybe that's why that's coming through this way, and they're not the one that actually can give you this message. But they wanted me to look more feminine, and I was like, girl, what have I got? So I got my little softie, my little dragonfly cutie bandana on. My hair's down, just out of the shower, and I was like, hang on, I'm a bit red faced, a bit dry face, haven't put anything on. And they said, no, that's perfect, because that's exactly how they want you. That's exactly how they love you the most. And so they wanted me to relay this to you first before it's like a direct channel, and it looks like it's me saying it, just to avoid the confusion. And I'll put a disclaimer at the top of like direct channel. There were 2 last things they wanted me to verbally reference so that the channel can be like fully flowing through versus stop and start and explaining. So 1, pronouns. Okay, so I'm going to use pronouns, and you've got to hear the pronoun that you prefer, because this is going to be me speaking as if I'm talking to a female. Channeling spirit is never gendered, and sometimes people will give that disclaimer, sometimes they don't. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just like what works for them best. So there's a lot of readings that I watch, and they'll be like, he's coming in, and I'm like, she's coming in. So like, you take it as you need to take it, but I'm going to be using, like, I'm going to be talking as if I'm talking to a female right now. Like, but I'm going to be talking as if I'm talking to a female in this channel. My hands are like shaky, it's fucking activating as fuck. They want me to say this beforehand. So initially the first reference was going to be a Greek goddess, and then they pulled back and said no, because that might be too literal. As in, like, if you're not Greek, you might think that that's not for you. So then they gave me a different description already of sorts. And I don't know the full message yet, but I've heard part of it. And so if Greek goddess is a reference for you, but like, think Greek goddess, whatever comes up, whatever actually flows through, that was the first. But then we scrapped it because this babe's probably autistic, and they don't want them to mishear this message, and that's what they've said. Let me just check that's everything. And the last message is that you can respond in the comment section, as if you want to talk directly back to them. You can respond to, as in like, you know, I feel that way too about you. You can do that. You can also say, I can't wait for him. You can say, I have him, or like, you can say whatever you want. However you want to respond back is okay. That's what they're saying. So like, if you want to respond as if you're talking directly back, like I'm talking directly to you through this message, that's okay. If you want to talk around it, that's also okay too. So that was the last message that, but they wanted it to be a verbal message, and I don't know if I'll give this disclaimer every time, but this is how this one is coming through before I flow into this channel that I need to do, because the sun is set already. They wanted me to be out on my balcony doing this before it's too dark. I don't know if I'll ever find the right words to describe just how beautiful you are, and you may never believe the words that I tell you, and I will keep searching for these words for the rest of my life if you are mine, and I will tell you in all the different ways that I can. So with the limited words that I have right now that I know doesn't describe it, this is how you appear to me, is that if you can imagine the most beautiful goddess that is like carved out in history over time, and it doesn't matter what lifetime It doesn't matter this lifetime, the last lifetime, the next. You are someone that will always be carved out because you are just so beautiful. And my fear is that I know that you don't see how beautiful you are. And I know I'll keep telling you in all the different ways and keep sharing in hopes that one day you see just how beautiful you are. And the fear is that maybe that when you see how beautiful you are, is that you won't want me anymore. But I'm not going to let that fear stop me from telling you every day that you're mine, over and over again. Even though we know the society BS around beauty is a whole load of BS. But I want to flood your brain so much in the opposite direction so that you never question my attraction and obsession with just looking at you. And I know this sounds like I'm being shallow or about physical appearance, and you know me that it's not, and you know that it's your heart that I love. But let me just froth over you as much as possible too, because I'm utterly obsessed with you. And so while it lights me up the most to think about watching you bloom and being part of your journey of like loving you exactly as you are and watching you bloom over your lifetime, and it brings me the most love and joy and excitement. It lights up the fear in my body, but it's not going to stop me. Every day, finding the right way to tell you just how beautiful you are in this exact moment. And I hope you forgive me for me looking like I'm obsessed with you from a physical point of view, because yes, I am. But you know deep down that I love all of you.